So, my people, I'm live again. They tried to put me down, but I survive again. They tried to put me down, but I rise again, and they are surprised again. So, my people, I have a meme from a Muslim that I am going to tackle today. Um, but just before we tackle the meme, I want to show you how there are incidents in America where, and not only in America but all over the world, there are incidents where people want to kill themselves. If somebody want to die, you know. Before I get into this, let me say, all praises to the triune God, the God who is above all gods, the God who give us wisdom to decipher things and to make sense of sensible things, and to make nonsense of things that are nonsense. And Islam is nothing but nonsense. So there, there are instances where people want to die, but they don't want to kill themselves. They want you to kill them. Like most of the cases, they use the police to kill themselves. So someone want to die, and he doesn't want to kill himself. So what he do? He use the police to kill himself. And what he would do, he come out and he pretend as if he have a gun or something, and he would let the police shoot him. And then later they would find out that this man have no gun. So there are people who do these things, like they would pretend as if they have a gun so that the police could kill them. So you see, I'm showing you on the screen here. I'm showing you on the screen here. This is actually the U.S. Department of Justice Office of Justice program, and you see it here, suicide by cop. So in a case of suicide by cop, what happened is that a person will come out, start some uproar, knowing that they want to kill themselves. And what they would do is the cop come out and they have their hand in their pocket or their hand in their waist. And the cop is shouting, take your hand away from your waist, put your hands up, and they won't. And then they would just pull their hand from their side. The police, believing that they have a gun, started firing, and then that person would be killed. Suicide by cop is the term used by police officer for incident in which an individual bent on killing himself forces the police to use deadly force. So you see it right here, what suicide by cop is. Suicide by cop is the term used by police officers for incidents in which an individual bent on killing himself forces the police to use deadly force. So that's what suicide by cop is. But also, we see some situation in Islam that you could regard as suicide. A person have a suicidal ideation. All he have to do is come to Muhammad. Do you hear what I'm saying? When a person have a suicidal ideation, all he have to do is come to Muhammad. So if you have the mind to commit suicide, all you have to do is come to Prophet Muhammad, and Muhammad will kill you. Let me show you some instances. I'm going to show you one instant and tell you about another instant where a woman came to Muhammad and he told Muhammad that I commit adultery. And in no time, Muhammad pronounced the woman's death. So the woman was pregnant. Muhammad said, when the baby is born, after the baby is born, then kill her. So after the baby was born, this woman was put to death. All these things after the Messiah came and give us a law that says, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. This law that the Messiah gave. Do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Matthew 7, verse 12. But let's show you a case, as I told you, about suicide by cop, and I tell you what suicide by cop is. You know, suicide by cop is when a person want to commit suicide, but he don't want to do it himself. He want the police to do it for him. So what he do? He come out with his hands behind him in some form, with his hands behind him, and he will provoke the cop to kill him with his hand in his waist, and he will provoke the cop to kill him. So you see, he say suicide by cop is the term used by police officers for incident in which an individual bent on killing himself forces the police to use deadly force. And so there's a lot of people in this world who, God bless you. So a lot of people in this world, I don't know what this Muhammadan talking about, Luke 17 to 29. You know what he want to write? Luke 19 verse 29. What an idiot. Where Jesus told a story about a man killing his enemy. So Jesus gave a parable in Luke 19 verse 29 about a man killing his enemies. So a man went to a far country to get a kingdom, and when he returned, he killed his enemy. And this idiot want to say that normally these idiots use that to say that this is talking about Jesus. So here is this idiot barking like a dog. Right, Luke 17 to 19. I think he mean to say Luke 19 verse 29. He said Luke 17 to 29. I think he mean to say Luke 19 verse 29, because this is how stupid these idiots are repeating themselves. What a donkey. Anyway, so suicide by cop. So let me share you a story where Muhammad was killing people who possibly have suicidal ideation. Muhammad himself have suicidal ideation. Muhammad himself in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 9, hadith 111, was trying to kill himself several times. Muhammad tried to kill himself. So several times, according to the narration, he said several times. He go to the top of the mountain several times to throw himself down. So we see that there were people who have suicidal ideation. Here is a case where Muhammad was just killing people without any witnesses. There was no witness of what this man do, but Muhammad was ready to kill because Muhammad was a murderer. Listen to this. So let's start at this one. Abu Hurairah, so we're talking about Sahih Muslim. So this is Sahih Muslim 4196. Abu Hurairah report that a person from amongst the Muslims came to Allah's messenger. I hope you guys can see this. Yes. So let's do it this way. All right. So Abu Hurairah report that a person from among the Muslims came to Allah's messenger while he was in the mosque. So Muhammad was in the mosque. There even no mercy in the mosque. He called him saying, Allah's messenger, I commit adultery. So here is this man coming and say, I commit adultery without any witness. He's the only witness. And have no evidence that he commit adultery. Who did he tell Muhammad that he commit adultery with? We'll see. He, the prophet, turned away from him. So Muhammad turned away from him. He again came round facing him and said to him, Allah messenger, I have committed adultery. I have committed adultery. He, the prophet, turned away until he did that 4 times. And as he testified 4 times against his own self, Allah messenger called him and said, are you mad? He said no. So you ask, normally, I'm a nurse. I'm telling you the truth. I am a nurse and I work with people with mental issue. If you ask a person with a mental issue if they are crazy, in most cases, they're going to say yes or no. Because most time you ask question that have a close-ended answer, it's not a good thing. So Muhammad, this is how Muhammad's judgment was. Are you mad? Said to the man, are you mad? He said, no. He again said, are you married? So he asked the man, are you married? He said, yes. See? No, yes, yes, open-ended, close-ended answers. Thereupon, Allah's messenger said, take him and stone him. Can you imagine that? Look at his monkey court. So somebody come, the man may have a mental issue. And Muhammad said to them, take him and stone him. So listen to this. Take him and stone him. Ibn Shihab, one of the narrators, said, one who had heard Jibir B. Abdullah saying this informed me thus. I was one of those who stoned him. Can you imagine? Muhammad was just having people, killing people who maybe have a mental problem. There is no proof against this man that this that this man have murdered anyone at all. So the donkey came back and he says, Luke 19-27 also. Also what? Do you see when these donkeys are galloping, they make no sense. What a goat. He come here every day just to get his treatment, man. So they stoned the man. Now let's continue to show. So here it is. They stoned the man. So in another incident, maybe the same story, another version of the same story. I think it is the same story. He says, Jibir Sumara reported as he was being brought to Allah's prophet, I saw Mays B. Malik, a short statue person with strong sinews, having no cloak around him. He bore witness against his own self 4 times that he committed adultery. Whereupon Allah messenger say, perhaps you kiss her or embrace her. So Muhammad said, perhaps you kiss her or embrace her. He said, no. By God, one deviating from the path of virtue has committed adultery. The man says, no, by God, one deviating from the path of virtue have committed adultery. What was his adultery? He didn't even tell what his adultery was. Like, who did he commit adultery with? He then got him stoned to death and then delivered the address. Behold, as we set out for jihad in the case of Allah, one of you lagged behind and shirked like the bleating of a male goat and gave a small quantity of milk. Wow. So a male goat can give milk. Muhammad was an idiot, man. A small quantity of milk. By Allah, in case I get hold of him, I shall certainly punish him. Who is this? Who is Allah? Who is the Allah messenger talking about? Allah messenger was an idiot. But anyway, let's go to one more. Just one more. Because we want to give Muhammad the reason of the doubt. This is Muhammadan trial. So here is another one. Jibir B. Sumara reported that there was brought to Allah's messenger a short statue man with thick uncombed hair, muscular body, having a mantle around him, and he had committed adultery. He turned him away twice and then made pronouncement about him, and he was stoned. So this person said Muhammad only turned the man away twice, not 4 times. So and Ibn Abbas, so this is Muhammad's cousin, reported that Allah's prophet said to Mays Malik, is it true what have reached me about you? He said, what has reached you about me? So some of these people are saying that, hey, the man came to Muhammad and tell Muhammad that he commit adultery. In this case now, they are asking Muhammad is asking, man, is it true what have reached me about you? He said, it has reached me that you committed adultery with the slave girl. Notice who Muhammad is saying that he committed adultery with the slave girl of so and so. He said, yes. The narrator said, he testified 4 times. He, the prophet, then made pronouncement about him, and he was stoned to death. Do you notice who this man have sex with? A slave girl of another person. So this man have sex with a slave girl of another person. But do you remember when Muhammad and his men go on their expedition, Muhammad allowed his men to have sex with the women they captured. Muhammad allowed his men to have sex with the women they captured, but Muhammad is killing someone for having sex with a slave girl. Muhammad is killing someone for having sex with a slave girl, but Muhammad allowed his men to have sex with captured women. There was even a time when Ali took a slave woman and have sex with the slave woman, and someone was mad with Ali, and Muhammad said, why are you mad with him? He deserved more. So let me show you something to show you the hypocrite that Muhammad was, just to show you how hypocritical this little dude called Muhammad was. So this man have sex with a slave girl and Muhammad kill him. And look at this. Let's show you something. Show you the hypocrisy of Muhammad. Muhammad was an idiot. Oh Allah apostle, we get female captive as our share of booty. So here they could have sex with women that they capture, and we are interested in their prices. So you see, these men want to sell the women, but they want to have sex with the women, slave women. What is your opinion on coitus interruptus? So this is the withdrawal of the penis before ejaculation. The prophet said, do you really do that? It is better for you not to do it. No soul that which Allah has destined to exist, but will come into existence. And this is Bukhari, Hadith 432. So Muhammad was allowing people to have sex with captured women, but at the same time, Muhammad was killing people for having sex with slaves. Oh. My brother says Islam is suicide. Was it pedomo of pimp? Do you see the stupidity of Islam? Straight stupidity. He killed a man for committing suicide, who claimed that he had sex with a slave girl. You know. But you see the difference in narration. One is saying that the man confessed that he commit adultery. The other one is saying that Muhammad asked the man about it. Do you see how Islam is built on nothing at all? Like shaky ground, very, very shaky ground. But anyway, so we see, if you want to commit suicide, tell Muhammad what you do. Tell Muhammad that you did something and you're a dead man. You're a dead man. Muhammad don't even have to do any true investigation. Just say you did something and you're dead. Say you do something and you are dead. That's what Muhammad was about. But anyway, I want to show you something that is more important than Muhammad and his stupidity. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is more important than Muhammad and his donkeyness. So we're just gonna get into that right now. Okay, so if you look here, anybody who can see, look here, right here, what do you see? You see a meme, and this meme is from a Muslim. And on this meme, you see Ephesians 4, verse 6. One God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. So the Muslims say, but notice what the heading says. According to the Bible, Father means God and Son means servant. That is not true. Do you see how stupid these donkeys are? He says, according to the Bible, Father means God and Son means servant. But we know that this guy is an idiot, and we know that Son doesn't mean servant. You know, Solomon was called the servant of David. Solomon was called the servant of David, but yes, Solomon was a real son. So son doesn't even, to say son means servant, that's not true, because you could be a son and a servant, a real son and a servant. So son doesn't mean servant. And let me show you, I'm going to show you from the Bible that Jesus as a son is above servants. I'm going to read two places in the Bible, Mark 12 and also Hebrews 3. And I will show you that Jesus is beyond a servant. He became a servant, but he is beyond being a servant. I will show you that. So he go off to Matthew 5 and he said, blessed are the peacemaker, for they shall be called the children of God. But is God said he must have sex? According to Surah 6, verse 101, how can I have children when I have no wife? But the peacemakers, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. This idiot's God need a wife to have. Let me actually show you the Quran verse, just to show you how stupid whoever write the Quran is. Let me show you, because we like to share things, you know. So Mary in the Quran could have a son without having a consort or a husband, but Allah cannot have a son unless he have a wife. So let's look at the surah for a minute. Then we'll get back and discuss this thing, just to show you that the God of Islam is not God. He's an idiot. It's an invention. So what do we see here? What do we see here? According to Surah 6, verse 101, he is the originator of the heaven and the earth. How can he have a son when he never had a wife? Wow, Allah needs sex to have a son. Wow, Allah is a man. I need sex to have a son too. My son came from sex, and Allah's need a wife to have a son. How is Allah better than I am? Allah is just like me. Allah need a wife to have a son. Wow, what a beautiful Allah. Allah is a false God, a false God, a false God. DCI ministry. Allah is a false God. Allah needs sex, man. Wow. Allah must have gonads. Allah must have semen. Allah Allah is a weird God, man. Allah clear. You see, Muhammad is Allah. Muhammad is Allah. I do believe that. Allah is Muhammad alter ego. Clearly speaking, Islam was started as a political movement for conquest base, yes, and to cater to man's base desire. I agree with you. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you right there. When I say I totally agree with you, I totally agree with you. But look at this. So Allah needs sex to have a son. All right. So the guy, notice what the guy said. Son means servant. Let's go into the Bible. Let's see what the Bible say about son. So here we go. We are gonna go to the book of Hebrews first. Let's go to the book of Hebrews first, and we show you that the servant don't mean son. This guy is an idiot. And I'm gonna send this video to him as soon as I finish it. This guy is a big head idiot, man. Even though my head is big, but I'm not an idiot. So he says right here, you see where he says servant means son. Okay, so we get back to it to make sure that we are representing him. According to the Bible, father means God and servant means son. Let me show you that this idiot is a liar. Okay, so he is selling his nonsense. So we are gonna demolish his nonsense. So here we go. Let's go to the book of Hebrew now, and then we can start to demolish this guy's stupidity. So here's the book of Hebrew. And Hebrews, I always say Hebrew without no S. So the book of Hebrews. What is this book talking about here? Therefore, holy brothers and sisters who share in the heavenly calling, fix your thoughts on Jesus, whom we acknowledge as our apostle and high priest. So as a man, he's apostle and high priest. He was faithful to the one who appointed him. So he's a faithful to the one who appointed him. And we know who the one who appointed him is his father. Just as Moses was faithful in all God's house. But listen to this. Jesus has been found worthy of greater honor than Moses. Jesus has been found worthy of greater honor than Moses, just as the builder of a house of greater honor than the house itself. So according to this, is saying this analogy here, Jesus is the builder of the house and Moses is the house. And we will see how it piece together. For every house is built by someone, but notice what he says, but God is the builder of everything. Notice he said God is the builder of everything, but he likened Jesus to the builder of the house, and it likened Moses to the house. Let's go back over it. He was faithful to the one who appointed him, just as Moses was faithful in all God's house. Jesus has been found worthy of greater honor than Moses, just as the builder of the house of greater honor than the house itself. The builder of the house, Jesus' honor is just like the builder of the house of greater honor than the house itself. Jesus' honor over Moses is just as the builder of the house has greater honor than the house itself. And then listen how Paul is telling you who Jesus is. For every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of everything. Every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of everything. Listen to this. So literally, what Paul is saying, that Jesus is the creator of Moses. Literally. And I will show you where Paul says elsewhere that Jesus is the creator of Moses. Moses was faithful as a servant in all God's house. Notice what this says. Moses was faithful as a servant. As a servant. Pay attention to this. Moses was faithful as a servant in God's house, bearing witness to what would be spoken by God in the future. But Christ is faithful as a son over God's house. Moses was faithful as a servant in God's house, but Christ is faithful as the son, not a son, but the son over God's house. So you see the difference between a servant and a son? That there is a difference between God, Jesus being a son of God, and us being called children of God. It is totally different. Total difference. It's not the same. Jesus' sonship and my sonship is not the same sonship. It is not the same sonship. This is what this stupid Abdul don't know. That Jesus' sonship and my sonship is not the same sonship. But Jesus is faithful as the son, not a son, but the son. It's like me, if I have one son, and then I adopt 20 sons, how many really is my son? Really is my son? One. So we are adopted. Many people are adopted as God's son. But there is only one, the son. One, the son. And when Jesus asked his disciples, who do men say I am? They answer, some say this, some say that. Then he said to the disciple, who do you say I am? And Peter turned and said to him, you are the Son of the living God. The Son of the living God. This is the difference. And look, notice what it says here. But Christ is faithful as the son over God's house, and we are his house. Notice what the Bible says here, up here. Notice what the Bible says right here. Here. For every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of everything. But why are we called the house of Jesus? Because Jesus is the one who built us. Jesus is the one who create us. Jesus, and even in our righteousness, Jesus is the one whose righteousness make us righteous. And we are his house, if indeed we hold firm to our confidence and the hope in which we glory. So you see that. But that's not the only place where Jesus is shown to be different from a servant. Even though the Bible called Jesus a servant, it is like a king of a son. And the son went on an expedition. The son went on an exploration or whatever. And a part of the son's duty is to act as a servant, is to serve, to live the life of the common people. So he went and he is acting in the role of a servant, but is he only a servant? No, he is a royal son. He is a servant because that's the role that he's playing, but he is the royal son. And this is how Jesus here is. So if you go to the book of Mark 12, if you go to Mark 12, you will see another story there in Mark 12, where Jesus is, so let's get to the Mark 12. You will see the same thing. So here is Paul telling us something, and then here is, here it is again, right there in let me see where we find it. Mark 12. Okay, the parable of the tenants. So let's get into it real fast. Jesus then began to speak to them in parables. A man planted a vineyard. He put a wall around it. Dug a pit for the winepress and built a watchtower. Then he rented the vineyard to some farmers and moved to another place. At harvest time, he sent a servant. Notice who he sent? A servant. He sent a servant to the tenants to collect from them some of the fruit of the vineyard. But they seized him, beat him, and sent him away empty-handed. So he sent a servant. Know what happened again? Then he sent another servant. Then he sent another servant to them. Notice what he says there. He sent another servant to them. They struck this man on the head and treated him shamefully. He sent another what? Another servant. Because he's sending servant now. The man is sending servant. In this case, the man symbolized the Father. The man symbolized God, the Father. And the servants symbolize the prophets. But notice what's going to happen. And that one they killed. So they killed the servant. So they killed the servant. He sent them many others. Many other what? Many other what? Servant. Some of them they beat, others they kill. So you see what Jesus is saying here. He had one left to send. He had one left to send. A son. He had one left to send. A son. Do you see this? Plain as plain rice. Plain rice is white rice cooked with nothing. So it's plain as plain rice. Can you see that? He had one left to send, a son. So he have one left to send, and this one is a son. Do you see that? Clear as water from Buju Banton, a reggae artist back in the days when I was in reggae. Buju Banton says, like water, sweet like water from the Evian spring. But this is clear like water from the Evian spring. Because you ever drink Evian water, you see how clear that water is. So he had one left to send, a son. So you see the son is not the same as the servant. The son is separated from the servant here. And who is the son that he have to send? Let me go into it a little bit more. Let me take this thing off so we can get into it. What Sam Shamoun said, this is meat. It was he called it meat. He's like, let's get into more meat. Is that what he says? Something like that. So, clear like water from the Evian spring, man. Clear like water from the Evian spring. That the Bible is telling you that a son is different. Jesus as a son is different from all the prophets. He had one left to send, a son whom he loved. He sent him last of all. So Muhammad talking about he is the last prophet. He's a donkey. Every prophet that comes later is sent by Jesus. And there's a verse in Matthew who tell you that Jesus is the one sending all the prophets that come later. So because Jesus, they must come with the same thing that Jesus teach. They must come continuing his teaching. Not going against him and saying things against what he says. But he sent him last of all saying, they will respect my son. They will respect my son. So you see the difference between the servant and the son. So son doesn't mean servant as this idiot says. A son can be a servant, but son doesn't mean servant. But the tenants said to one another, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him. Do you notice this? But the tenants said to one another, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and the inheritance will be ours. So they took him and killed him and threw him out of the vineyard. Watch this. Notice it says, this is the heir. Notice it says, this is the heir. What is the heir? The heir is the one who inherits all that the Father owned. Now listen what Jesus says here. This is what Jesus says. This is what Jesus says, and you will see how these tie in and make so much sense. And the Abduls are still galloping like donkey because they don't understand the Bible. John, this is something that I would like to show you. So let me show you this. How everything ties in, and we don't need Islam and the stupid Quran. We don't need that. It's a stupid book. A book of illiterate from somebody who is illiterate. People who don't, when I say illiterate, I mean they'll be able to read, but at the same time, their reading is not up to scratch because they can't read and understand. I might not be the best reader, but when I read something, I understand what I'm reading. So look at this, my friends. What you see right here. Remember, they send the man, the tenant, the owner of the vineyard sent his last person, his son, and they say, let us kill him because he is the heir. But look at this, John 16 verse 15. All that belong to the Father is mine, because he's the heir. All that belong to the Father is mine. He is the heir. And we see all over where Jesus is the heir. All over where Jesus is the heir. Jesus is the heir of all things. Peter says that this is inheritance can never perish, spoil or fade. Okay, anyway, let's look at where Jesus is the heir of all things. You just could look, just put into Google and you will see how things fall into place, man. How you see things fall into place. So many things. You know, you just could find Bible verses. Here it is. From the book of Hebrew that we just teach from. We just start from the book of Hebrew and look what we see here. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his son. So he spoke to us to the on many past occasions and in many different ways. God spoke to our fathers through the prophets. See, God spoke to our father through the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his son, whom he appointed heir. Do you see that? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see what I see? Jesus Christ have made a difference in me. Straight from the dome. On many past occasions and in many different ways, God spoke to our fathers through the prophets, the servants. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his son, who is different from the servant. Even though the son became a servant, he's still different from the servant. So when the idiots say a son means servant, that's a lie. That's a total lie. Whom he appointed heir of all things. So Jesus is the heir of all things. And through whom he made the universe. Through whom he made the universe. That Jesus created the universe. So Jesus is the creator of Moses. And that's why Jesus have a higher, it says, a higher honor than Moses. The Son is the radiance glory. See, the Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact, listen, watch this. Exact representation of his nature. Exact. Can a regular man, be the exact representation of God's nature? No, he cannot. So we see where this idiot is trying to use the Bible to teach stupidity. This idiot is trying to use the Bible to teach his stupidity. So let's get back to his meme, because we have already established that a son can be more than a servant. A son can be a servant, but he can be more than a servant. He can be the royal priest, the royal prince. A prince can also be a servant. As I say, we see in the book, in the Bible, I tried to find it, I couldn't find it, where Solomon is called the servant of David. And we know who Solomon is. Solomon is the son of David. So anyway, let's get back to the stupid meme of this Muslim. So, let's find it. It's around here somewhere. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Here it is. So we covered this part already. And we covered this part that children, servant, he said, one God and Father of us all. Of course, there's one God and Father of us all. God the Father is one God and Father of us all. That doesn't mean that the Son is not God. So one God and Father of us all. Yes, there is one God and Father of us all. But as we go into it, do you notice that I actually already read? I don't think I did. Let me make sure. Okay, so we're gonna go to from the same author of Ephesians. Look what the author of Ephesians says. The author of Ephesians, let's look at what he says about Jesus. Colossians. Let's go to Colossians first. So when we go to the book of Colossians, here is what the author is saying about Jesus. And you tell me that he's telling you that Jesus is less than God. For by him, Colossians 1, verse 16 to 17, for by him, who is the him? Jesus. All things were created in heaven and earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominion or rulers or authority. So all things were created by Jesus. So you want to tell me that Jesus is less than God, but he's creating all things? This is not Islam, where Isa is creating a bird and he's not God. Isa is God, but Isa is not God, but he's creating a bird from the same way Adam is created. How is he not God if he can create a bird the same way Adam is created? And according to the Quran, he said, by the permission of Allah. I could build a house by the permission of my father, but that doesn't mean that I am less than my father. Permission doesn't mean that you're not God. Giving somebody permission, I could give God the permission. Even I as a human can give God the permission to enter my home and to enter my life, because God wants you to ask him to enter your life. So I, as a human, can give God the permission to do something. If I put a sign on my door and I live a holy life in my house, I am giving God the permission to enter my house. And I say to God, God, enter my home. I am giving him permission to enter my home. When I pray and I said, Lord, enter my life, I am giving him the permission to enter my life. So that doesn't mean that he's less than God because you give him permission to do something. So what he says here, so Jesus created all dominion in heaven and earth. He says Jesus, by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominion or rulers or authority. All things were created through him, for him, because he's the heir. He's created through him. It's like a father using a son to make a house. Your son is a builder, and you say, give him the permission to build a house. But the house is for him because he's the heir. Do you see how the Bible ties all things together? And he is before all things. He is before all things because he is the creator of all things. And in him, all things hold together. All things hold together in him, even our life. So you want to tell me that because the author says one God, the Father, That means the Son is not God? No, that's not what the author is telling you. He wasn't telling you that. Now let's go to the book of Ephesians and we'll see something else there. It's from the same author. We go to the book of Ephesians and we see something there. Not Ephesians, sorry. Philippians, sorry. And we're going to go to the book of Ephesians in a minute. Have this mind among, sorry, it jumps. And let me make sure that it's big enough for you to see, guys. Have this mind among yourself, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, so this is talking about Christ Jesus now, who, though he was in the form of God, he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God as a thing to grasp, but emptied himself. So he was existed in the form of God, and he emptied himself by taking the form of a servant. Do you see what I'm saying? The royal son emptied himself, the here, the logos, the memra, the word, emptied himself and take the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of man. So he emptied himself, take the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of man. So when this Abdul say, a servant, son means servant, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Jesus exists as a royal son before, and let me show you how I know that. Let's use this very page. Let me show you how I know that. Jesus himself tells us that too. Jesus himself tells us that. So let's look. AOHN 17 verse 5. Listen to what Jesus said right here. John 17 verse 5. Now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you. I had with you before the world existed. Before the world existed. And remember what Paul is saying? All things that were created by him. Is Paul's story only told by Paul? No. The Apostle John tells us the same thing. That in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So Jesus was that Word. And the Word was God. And what he says, and the Word became flesh. Before that, in verse 3, he says, all things were created by him. In verse 10, he says, he came into the world, and the world was made by him. And notice what he says, before the world existed. So Jesus exists with the Father before the world existed. In what way did he exist? In what way did he exist? We let the Bible speak for itself. We let the Bible speak for itself. We will tell you how he exists. Here it is. Here it is. The Bible is easy to understand. Who, though he existed in the form of God, so he existed in the form of God, so he existed in God as God, did not count equality with God as a thing to grasp, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant. So you see the story. And the Word became flesh. The Word was God, and the Word became flesh. He emptied himself by taking the form of a servant. So the flesh is the servant. Now let us go back to the guy. So we explained that part already. We show you that Paul wasn't saying that Jesus was not God. Even though the Father, one God the Father, that doesn't mean that the Son is not God too. We have one God the Father, and we also have one God the Son. We have one God the Holy Spirit. Now, let us look deeper into what the Abdul is saying. So here is another thing from the Abdul. You go to John 20 verse 17. My Father, so Jesus is speaking. Jesus said unto her, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father. But go to my brethren and say unto them, I am ascended unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. So this Abdul believed that, oh, we got them now because Jesus is saying that he have a God, and my father and your father, my God, and your God. Watch this. This happened when the Abduls don't read the Bible. If you read the Bible carefully, you will see something different from what these Abdul are saying. Oh boy, what is this crazy stuff here coming up on my stuff? Black user. Oh wow. Must be a Abdul doing that. All the sex stuff coming up. Did this guy see that? All the sex crap that this person was putting on the stuff. So anyway, the Abduls, that's what they are. You know, if you look it up, if you think I'm lying, Muslim country watch porn more than any country in the world. Just look it up. Look it up. The countries, just put countries that watch porn, the most porn, and you will see the top 10 countries that watch porn, and Muslim country Muslim country are the most watch porn the most, and that's why you see them coming with these sex stuff on your stuff. But anyway, let me show you something. So because he said my father and your father and my God and your God, the Muslim believe they have the Christian locked up. Oh, how can Jesus be God if he have a God? Let me show you something. How this happened. Let me show you how this happened. Let me show you how this happened. So if you look here, we go to the book of Jeremiah. This is simple. We go to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah 32, verse 27. Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. So it means actually it's in the real writing, it would have said, behold, I am Jehovah, the God of all flesh. But they substitute Jehovah, the name, for the word the Lord, for the words the Lord. So it would be, behold, I am Jehovah, the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Can I become a man? Is it too hard for me to become a man? So anyway, is it too hard for God to become a man? Is it too hard for my son to become a man? Is it too hard for my word, who is also God, to become a man? No, it's not hard. But notice what he says. I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. The God of all flesh. Take this part right here. The God of all flesh. Then what we're going to do now, we're going to the book of John. So when we go to the book of John, bear that in mind, what I just said right there. So, and then we go to the book of John. So when we go to the book of John, we're going to go to John, John 1, verse 1 to 14. See, the Bible interprets itself, and we don't need these Abduls. We don't need these Mohammedan. We don't need the semen-covered bastards, puppets to come making noise. Anyway, we are in the book of John, and what we see in the book of John, what we see. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So God was with God. That doesn't mean that it's two God. If humanity is with humanity, that doesn't mean there is two humanity. It means there is still one humanity. I am a humanity, you are humanity, and we are together, we are still one humanity. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So the same was in the beginning with God. In him was life. In him was life. So in the word, in the Logos, so in the beginning was the word. In this word, there is life. So if the word said, come into being, you have to come in something after coming into being, whatever he called into being. That's when the word That's why Jesus could say, I am the resurrection and the life. I am the resurrection and the life, because in him is life, and the life was the light of man. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. The Muslims are living in darkness, and that's why they cannot understand this light. And there was a man sent from God whose name was John. So we're going to skip that little part a little bit, because we're going to go to the meatier part of it. Whose name was John. Okay. The same came to bear witness. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of the light. That light was a true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. Every man that cometh into the world. So Muhammad is no light. Jesus is that light. Every man that cometh into the world. He didn't say every Hebrew that cometh into the world, or every Jews that cometh into the world. He says every man that cometh into the world. We don't need Muhammad. Muhammad is not a light. Muhammad is darkness. And that's why these Abduls cannot understand. And the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not. And that's why these Abdul, including the idiot Muhammad, could not understand Jesus. He did not understand who Jesus is, but he have Jesus creating bird. He have Isa creating bird, but he could not understand who the real Jesus is. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. So he came as an Israelite, because the word became flesh, and he came as an Israelite, and they receive him not. But listen what happened here. But as many as receive him, to them gave he the power to become the sons of God. So he gave them power to become the sons of God. But how did he become the son of God? Different, because he exists and he is creator. So he didn't become son of God the same way we become son of God. He's the one who gives us power to become son of God. And this kind of son of God is through adaptation through him. So we are not like him. He's the one who gives us power to become son of God. Even to them that believe on his name, which is born. Notice this. And this is why we know that the Abdul God is a fake God. The Abdul God is a fake God and a made up, stupid, idiotic God. Notice what this verse 13 said, which is born not of blood, nor the will of flesh, nor the will of man, but of God. So you are born not of blood, not of blood. When he said not of blood, it means not of genetically. Genetically, that's what it means. When he said my blood relative, my blood, my, it mean you didn't come to any sperm, any male productive, reproductive cell, or female reproductive cell, which is an egg, or ovum, plural ova. You didn't come to that. He didn't. How do you become the son of God? By the will of God. Just by the will of God. But notice what the Quran says. How can he have a son when he have no wife? Allah needs sex to have a son when God will us to be his son, but not Jesus. Because Jesus exists as the word of the Father, the memory of the Father, not the spoken word like, that's written in the Bible. No, but the word, the memory, the living word, the creative word, the living word, alive, the living word of the Father. And the word is God. Watch this now. This verse I want you to pay attention to. Verse 14. And the word was God. Remember, verse 1 said the word was God, and the word was made flesh. So if the word was made flesh, what happened here? The word was made flesh. The word was made flesh. Remember this, the word was made flesh, and we're going back up. The word was made flesh, the word was made flesh, the word was made flesh, the word was made flesh. Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. The word was made flesh, the word was made flesh, the word was made, the word was God, 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 the word was God. You see that? And the word was made flesh, and the word was made flesh, 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 the word was made flesh. I passed it, did I? Yes, I guess I did. The word was made flesh, the word was made flesh, the word was made flesh. So we see it here. The word was made flesh. Verse 14, sorry. The word was made flesh, the word was God, the word was made flesh, the word was God, the word was made flesh, the word was God, the word was made flesh. And then what we see up here, I am Yahweh, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. So what happened? When the word exists as God and the word was made flesh, then the flesh that the word became, God is the God of that flesh. God is the God of that flesh, because God is not a Unitarian being. God is a multi-personal being. When the word, who is God, became flesh, then God is the God of that flesh. And this is why, so we're reading Jeremiah 32, verse 27. The word was made flesh, John 1, verse 14. The word was God, John 1, verse 1. And God is the God of all flesh. So when the word who was God became flesh, and God is the God of all flesh. So that's why Jesus could say this. Let's go back to the Abdul meme. That's why Jesus could say something like this. This is why Jesus could say something like this. My Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. Because God is the God of our flesh. So even though he is the God-man, God became flesh. So God manifested in the flesh. Though he's God manifested in the flesh, because he is flesh, God is the God of our flesh. My Father, your Father, my God, and your God. So God is the God of our flesh. That doesn't stop Jesus from being God. He's the God-man. God as flesh. God as flesh. And God is the God of our flesh. So because God is the God of our flesh, God, his Father is God. If I'm clear. So when God exists, the Son, the Word exists as God. And the Bible says God is the God of our flesh, and the Word became flesh. So the Son, the Word exists with the Father and the Spirit as God. And the Bible said God is the God of our flesh, and the Word became flesh. So when the Word became flesh, then God still remained the God of our flesh, which include the Word. And this is why Jesus, even though he is the Word and he is God, because he is the living in flesh, God is the God of our flesh. And that's why he could say, my God and your God. This is not rocket science. But I want to say, our peace and glory, comes from God Almighty, and all honor and wisdom is from God Almighty. God is the creator of the universe, and God is above all and worthy to be praised. God is the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I want to say, all praises to the triune God, the God who is above all gods, the God who gives us wisdom to decipher things and to make sense of sensible things and to make nonsense of things that are nonsense. And Islam is nothing but stupidity and nonsense. And this is why they are so easy to repel. Islam is very, very easy to repel because it is stupidity. It's not hard to repel Islam because Islam is stupidity. I don't know how to do the mod thing, my sister. You have to show me. The other day I was trying to reach out to you to see how I could do this mod things where but I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do it. I'm looking at it and I can't see how you do that. So if you can show me, then I will make you mod. Because you could see them. Look at this. You see this stuff right here. All this sex crap all over my stuff. It's crazy. All these sex crap all over my stuff, man. I'm so ashamed. I didn't even notice because I'm talking. I didn't even notice. Okay. So here it is. So this guy gave us, look at what he gave us and said, read them both. This is how naive he is. Well, let me tell you what he wanted to say. He wanted to say Luke 19, verse 27. 29, I think he was. The first time he put 29. Didn't he put 29 the first time? And now he put, do you see how deceived this guy is? Look at this. Look at the difference between that. Luke 17, verse 29. And look at this. Now he said Luke 19. I think he mean to say verse. So he make a mistake and they don't admit when they make mistake. He gonna say read them both. What a donkey. So what he wanted to say is that in Luke 19 verse, because this is not even Luke 19 verse 20, he said verse 27. What he wanted to say, Luke 19 verse, he said Luke 19 to 27. This dash here mean two. So you're reading from Luke chapter 19 to Luke chapter 27. That's what this means. This is how dumb he is. And when you say Luke, I think he wanted to put Luke 19 verse 29. I think that's what he wanted to do. You could see where he tried to do it and make a mistake. What he wanted to say that Jesus killed people, because we were showing him where Muhammad was killing people for no reason. This man said, I commit adultery. Muhammad cannot prove that he committed adultery. The guy could be lying about himself. And suicide by Muhammad, just like how you have suicide by cop. Muhammad was just killing people. Because I say I commit adultery, that doesn't mean that I commit adultery. Adultery is something, I could want to die. And I go out there and I say, I just killed John Tom and I have my hand behind me. And I will kill you too. And I will kill you, and acting like that. And then the police came and said, get your hands from behind you, because that's how they command you. And you pull up your hand like this. Next thing you know, bop, 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 and you're full of gunshot and you die. And when they search you, you have nothing. You never kill anyone. Suicide by police. And people were committing suicide by Muhammad. Because Muhammad was killing people without real court. Somebody come and said, I commit adultery. And Muhammad asked him again. And then Muhammad asked him, are you crazy? He said, no. And Muhammad said, stone him. Take him outside and stone him. This is how stupid Muhammad was. So because I told him that Muhammad killed somebody, he said Luke 17 to 29. I think he mean Luke 19 verse 29. And then even when I correct him, look what he did. Luke 19 verse 27. Because these Muslims, their brains are fried. I'm telling you, they're like fried. I used to love fried egg sandwich. They're like fried egg sandwich. Their brain is like fried egg. So, but in Luke 19 verse 27, it didn't say nothing about Jesus killing anybody. Jesus tell a parable about a man, and the man said, bring my servant before me and kill him. That's about a man, but because I showed him that Muhammad was a suicidal bastard, Muhammad himself attempted suicide, and then Muhammad was just killing people right, left and right. He decided to put Jesus into his stupid mind and didn't even know how to quote verse. Look at this. He moved from Luke 17 to 29 to Luke 19 2:27. What a Muslim. What a Muslim. Yeah. I diagnose knows the problem. Yeah. The problem is becoming a Muslim. A Muslim. Muslim. I'm amused by them. Hey, man, back in the days when I used to write, I was good, man. I was good. Yeah. I had lyrics flowing over like a river. But anyway, it's Jesus saying, not me. Look at the idiot. It's Jesus saying, not me, neither you. Jesus saying what? Jesus saying what? Jesus saying what? This is how stupid the guy is. Jesus saying what? Was Jesus telling you that he killed somebody? Are you just making up the story that Jesus killed somebody? Did Jesus tell you that he killed anyone, Abdul? Let's look and see. Just to quench your stupid desire. Quenching his stupid desire. What a lunatic this boy is. This boy should never eat no food. You shouldn't eat food, man. You know, I'm just telling you the truth. You should stop eating food. You're too stupid to eat food. So this Muslim is so stupid. He should consider when he go on his pagan fast, he should consider not eating food until he gets his sense behind him. So here now. Listen now. Here we are at Luke 19. And as they heard these things, he added and spoke a parable. Verse 11. And spoke a parable because it was nigh to Jerusalem and because they thought that the kingdom of God would immediately appear. So he spake a parable, and a parable must not be taken literal. And so what is the parable about? Here is verse 12. A certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. So Jesus wasn't telling you that I am killing anyone and I want you to kill anyone. He's telling you a parable about a man who went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom. And what happened to the man? Let's go back down to 19. And he, not 19, 27. And we see that this is about a man. So the man is talking. And he said unto them that stood by, take from him. So here is the man is talking. The nobleman is talking. So he goes down to verse 27. Sorry, verse 27. I think I made a mistake there. So verse 27. Luke 19, verse 27. But these my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them thither and slay them in front of me. So this nobleman is saying, the enemies who didn't want me to reign over them, bring them before me and kill them. Not Jesus, the nobleman. The nobleman, verse 12, nobleman. And a certain nobleman went into a far country, and he called his 10 servants. So this nobleman, his citizens hated him. Hated who? The nobleman. When he returned, the nobleman, not Jesus, he said unto him, he said unto him, who said unto who? Unto the nobleman. The nobleman said unto who? He said unto him, he who, the nobleman said unto his servant, he said likewise, he who said likewise, the nobleman, not Jesus, Do you see? He said unto him, he who said it, the nobleman. So nothing about Jesus in this. It's just a parable, and a parable must not be taken literal. He went before. So you see that? Have nothing to do with Jesus, but this Abdul is saying it is Jesus. When I say have nothing to do with Jesus, it's a parable. Even Muhammad stoned a monkey for adultery. If Dragon, man, thank you, my sister. Let's show this where Muhammad stoned a monkey. Stone a monkey for Adultery. Hadith. Dragon, I love you, sister. I totally forget, and I have it into my little thing where Muhammad stoned the monkey. So let me show you how Muhammad was such an evil bastard that Muhammad mad. Muhammad was a crazy bastard and should not be judging anybody. And this is how I show you how Muhammad was a crazy bastard. Muhammad stoned a monkey for adultery. Wow, what a beautiful prophet. And this is Sahih al-Bukhari. During the pre-Islamic period of ignorance. So Muhammad was mad before he get Islam. Let me show you. Because you know that Muhammad, wet nurse believed that Muhammad was crazy. Muhammad wet nurse believed Muhammad was crazy. When Muhammad mother asked Muhammad wet nurse if Muhammad was crazy, the woman said yes. But look how crazy. Prove that Muhammad was crazy. Just the proof that Muhammad was crazy. During the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, I saw a she-monkey surrounded by a number of monkeys. They were all stoning it. I hope you guys are seeing this. Is beautiful, man, and everybody should see this. Big as a Christmas tree. What a dumb donkey, Mo. Oh, Mohammed, something is wrong with your bloody head. You stone a monkey, dead. Mohammed was a madman, man. I'm telling you. Oh, Mohammed, something is wrong with your bloody head. You stone a monkey, dead. Propaganda, the other monkey spray. During the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, I saw a she-monkey. He always a woman, ain't he? Wow. Surrounded by a number of monkeys, they were all stoning it because it had committed illegal sexual intercourse. I too stoned it along with them. Wow. Such a beautiful prophet. Yeah. Muhammad was so beautiful. Muhammad was a prophet, a false prophet. That's how I got it, yeah. That's how I got it. Muhammad was so jumpy. So, for sexual intercourse, he stoned a monkey. Mm-hmm. The road is too bumpy. The road to Islam is bumpy. Muhammad was a junkie. Muhammad was a flunky. Muhammad was a stunty. Muhammad stoned a sexual immoral monkey, but he was a sexual junkie. Muhammad himself was a sexual junkie, and now he's stoning as a sexual immoral monkey. Muhammad was a junkie. Hey. Muhammad stoned a monkey. Hey. Muhammad was a flunky. Hey. He used to act like a donkey. Yeah. That was crazy, my sis. Muhammad was a cartoon, man. Muhammad stoned a monkey, man. Wow. What a beautiful Muhammad. Beautiful Mohammed, who make a bed for Satan in his house. Muhammad was crazy, man. Man. So Muhammad stoned this man. This is how you know Muhammad was an evil bastard. Muhammad stoned a man. The man said, I commit sexual adultery. I commit adultery. And Muhammad stoned the man. If a person say, I'm living in a society, and that was the society, and I say, some person say, hey, I commit adultery. I'm like, with whom? Who? This. It's something you cannot prove. Even when he point to a woman and said, this woman, and the woman said, no, I never slept with. Because people have suicidal ideation, and there are times when people want to kill themselves. There are times when people want to kill themselves. There are times when people Momo the Puma. There are times when people want to kill themselves and they will say things to kill themselves. But look what Muhammad did. Muhammad stoned the man to death, and you will see that Muhammad was a madman. During the pre-Islamic period of ignorance, I saw a she-monkey surrounded by a number of monkeys. They were all stoning it because it had committed illegal sexual intercourse. Did the monkey tell Muhammad that they were stoning the other monkey because of... Muhammad is a prophet to monkey, man. What a beautiful man. Man, if Muhammad was here, I would kiss him on his cheek. Mwah! You're such a beautiful man. No, I would not. I would slap him on his cheek. Say, you wake up, you stupid bass. This guy was sleeping, man. This guy Mohammed was sleeping. He was in a big dream, man, and could not wake up. Could not wake up. He could not wake up from his dream. He could not wake up from his dream. I need to find out how to make. I'm gonna Google it and find out tonight. Anyway, my people, I want to say peace out and God bless you. I got to run to the work. I got to take care of the people who cannot take care of themselves. You know, I got to go to the job, get a bath, and run out. But I want to say all praises to the triune God, the God who is above all gods, the God who gives us wisdom to decipher things and to make sense of sensible things and to make nonsense of things that are nonsense. And Islam is nothing but nonsense. And Muhammad was an idiot of the highest caliber. There is never a bigger idiot than Muhammad. Oh, wow, more of these nonsense. Oh my God. More of these nonsense, yeah. So many nonsense, yeah. I don't know what is going on, but these Mohammedan and their pornography on my thing, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is going on. Muhammad was a madman, a very bad man, a madman. It's a poor she monkey. I'll go out with that. Poor she monkey, man. Islam in a mess. Press, hold on. She said, press on name and then mod. Okay, that's a good idea. Press on name. You said press on the name. Oh, I'm trying to press on the name. Oh, I got touch screen. And I'm not seeing it. Press on the name. That's a block and report. Oh, that's, yeah, I already block and I forget to report. Sorry, man. She said press on the name. You said it's easy, but oh, okay. I see what you mean. Let me see. She said press on the name. I'm just seeing crazy stuff. I'm not seeing what I want to see. You're not saying make mod. You're saying block, put user and timeout. I'm pressing on your name and you're not giving me what I want. How do you do that? She's saying add a mod, add mod. Yeah, but I'm trying to. Yeah, when I put on your name, it give me only 2 options, and that is not what I'm. Yeah, you could come on the mic and talk to me. Let me invite you in. If you you could come on the mic and talk, because I have no idea. Like I'm telling you, man, I'm not computer savvy. I'm not at all. Here is the invite. You could come and kind of run me to it if you are close to your microphone, because I have no idea how there's Crystal Rock and other, you guys have been around for years, and when I say years, I don't mean years, but you guys support me a lot, but I don't know how to do this. Literally, I don't know how to make a mod. I don't. I tried before with another guy. I don't see him around too much no more, but I don't know how to do it. Okay. Hey, my sis.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, just add moderator. Somebody told me you have to press on the name and just add moderator.
It's a press on the name. So when you press on the name, like in the comment or where?
In chat.
In chat. So
Yeah.
okay, so I choose your name here and I press on it.
And
I'm not seeing that option.
Then we have to Google, brother.
Yeah, I gotta Google. That's what I'm saying. I'm not seeing that option at all. I'm seeing a bad option. The option I'm seeing is not a good option. It's actually saying
doesn't matter.
He said
doesn't matter, brother. Go to work next time. We will Google and we will find out.
All right. Nice to meet you. Nice to finally hear your voice and talk to you. God bless you.
No problem, brother.
All right.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
God bless.